I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader outside of rebounding her own missed layups. What does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night. And for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
Angel. The Indiana Fever crushed the Chicago Sky by 27 points. But here's what makes this even more brutal. Reese just had the most embarrassing performance of her career on the biggest basketball stage at the United Center, the NBA's largest arena, with a sold-out crowd watching on prime-time TV. She only managed 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Not even Caitlin Clark was with the Fever. In this video, we'll discuss Sophie Cunningham, or their head coach, and the incident that ultimately led to Reese's humiliation. Caitlin Clark put Reese in her place during a live TV appearance. If you're eager to watch Caitlin humiliate Reese, leave a comment below and let's go.
Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be, but the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
When tickets to see a player drop below the cost of a candy bar at the gas station, you realize they aren't really that appealing. Angel Reese was expected to use this United Center game as her big break to demonstrate that she could draw crowds and attendance without Caitlin Clark serving as the main attraction. The Chicago Sky had been promoting the idea that Reese was just as popular at the box office as Clark and that fans came to watch her play.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that."
When Caitlin Clark's quad injury was confirmed, ticket prices dropped from premium to just $3. You can't even get a good cup of coffee for that amount, but that's what people were willing to pay to watch Angel replay basketball at the United Center. This wasn't just a slight drop in prices, either. We're talking about tickets that were initially priced at premium levels for what was supposed to be a marquee matchup between two of the WNBA's supposed stars. The moment Clark's absence became official, the secondary market crashed. Scalpers were unable to give these tickets away. Fans who had been anticipating the game abruptly lost interest, and we now know there is only one star.
Last night was somewhat of a big moment for Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado. For starters, the WNBA moved the game out of the local dump the Bravado usually play in and relocated to the United Center, which is the largest arena in the NBA, holding over 20,000 people. Now, to their credit, there seemed to be a good crowd in the United Center last night. I had someone who was at the game send me a few pictures, and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3 hours before the game starts.
The entire story was told on social media. The excitement that had been building around this United Center showdown deflated faster than a punctured basketball. Let's face it. Fans were posting screenshots of the $3 tickets with laughing emojis, making jokes about how they could afford to take their entire family to see the Sky play for less than the cost of parking. The Sky had been talking about how Ree brought her own fan base and how people tuned in specifically to watch her play on appointment television. But when the chips were down and Clark wasn't there to generate interest, the market spoke loudly and clearly about who fans actually wanted to see.
Ooh, what an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball?
The contrast between this and past games, when Clark's presence resulted in enormous ticket sales and sellout audiences, where supporters waited hours before games to see Clark warm up, couldn't have been more striking.
Folks, there were people in the crowd getting there early saying, "Hey, Caitlin, can you sign my jersey? Hey, Aaliyah, can you sign my shirt? Hey, Sophie, can you sign my picture?" There were people asking for autographs in the Chicago Sky crowd that weren't even born yet the last time the Chicago Sky scored this little amount of points. There were people in the crowd who weren't even a thought in their parents' minds at the time that the Chicago Sky last scored at least 52 points, the lowest point total since 2011.
This ticket price disaster was just the start of Angel Reese's worst nightmare coming true on the biggest stage. The $3 tickets accurately predicted the kind of performance we were about to witness from Chicago's supposed superstar. Even Chicago Sky fans seemed less interested without the Clark matchup to look forward to. The energy surrounding the game shifted from electric anticipation to resigned obligation. People who had been planning watch parties suddenly had other plans for their Friday night.
Angel Reese, part 38, let's get it! Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What?
You can instantly ruin your reputation by scoring 4 points on 2 of 7 shots in 27 minutes on primetime television. The first ever WNBA game was being held at the United Center. CBS had cleared their primetime schedule. There would be no television competition, and a sold-out crowd had gathered at the NBA's largest arena anticipating fireworks, only to witness Angel Reese, what analysts referred to as a disaster class, and total collapse on the biggest stage in the sport.
As a matter of fact, this might have been the first WNBA game broadcast on CBS in prime time. If it's not the first, it's one of very few. This was a big moment. I'm sure the WNBA would call it historic. Angel Reese is playing in an NBA arena in prime time on network television on Saturday night. Outside of regular season baseball, maybe the College World Series, there was no competition on television. The eyes of the sports world were focused on Angel Reese and the WNBA. And Angel Reese once again proved why no one is watching her.
Let's examine how awful this performance actually was. For someone who has been pushed as a Chicago superstar in a purported box office draw, Rhee only managed 4 points while missing 5 of her 7 shots, including 2 embarrassing missed layups that caused the crowd to groan. One of those attempts was completely blocked, and the cameras captured every second of her obvious frustration as the game slipped away. This stat line was absolutely brutal.
Caitlin Clark is averaging more assists per game than Angel Reese is averaging points per game this season. Yeah. 9.3 points per assist per game. 9.3 assists per game. Let me just bring it up. To 9.1 points per game.
You know what worsened this situation? Reese appeared totally disoriented. She made bad choices, felt overpowered by the situation, and seemed unable to respond to Indiana's defensive pressure. As shot after shot clanged against the hoop, the cameras captured every angry headshake and dissatisfied gesture.
Another diabolical stat. She's 19 of 59 from less than 5 feet away. How about that, man? Dang! She should work in housekeeping for hotels because she could turn it over quickly. Lost by 27, scored only 4 points against the Indiana Fever. I mentioned no Caitlin Clark, no problem, give and go. Like a given no shot of working. Bang!
You prefer car or plane?
Car or plane for what? For how you want to travel!
That's too many steps, and you can't do that.
The audience's response revealed the entire story. This player didn't simply miss a couple difficult shots. She appeared out of place on the court with a professional basketball team. Despite the historic nature of this United Center game, the lead-up to the game is what makes this performance even more embarrassing. What began as excited anticipation from fans who paid a lot of money to see this matchup quickly turned into restless disappointment. You could hear the frustration building as Rhea continued to struggle, and by the fourth quarter, some fans were already leaving. Rhea had been writing about her celebrity activities on social media and keeping up her usual assured online persona, but she totally collapsed under strain when the spotlights came on and the stage grew larger.
Oof. What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball?
Even though it was particularly painful to watch, Reese's performance was the most obvious letdown in the Sky offensive struggles. No Chicago player scored in double figures, and the team only managed 52 points, their lowest total since 2011. One analyst didn't hold back, saying that Angel Reese once again proved she is nowhere near Caitlin Clark's level. This wasn't just a bad game. It was a complete collapse on the biggest stage women's basketball had to offer, and the Fever took full advantage of this meltdown without even needing their best player on the court.
But unfortunately, Angel Reese brought her outfit and left her game at home. She brought the nice hat, she brought the nice boots, she brought the nice jacket, she brought the nice gloves, but unfortunately, she left her game at home. 4 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists in 27 minutes of action, a minus 23 turnovers as the Chicago Sky, without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without Stephanie White.
This wasn't Angel Reese's first public humiliation against the Fever. Rather, it's part of a troubling trend that began months ago. Let's go back to May 17th, when the Indiana Fever completely destroyed the Chicago Sky 93-58 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That 35-point thumping wasn't just a bad game. It was the start of what would turn out to be Angel Reese's worst nightmare against Indiana.
Angel Reese gets up, Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her, Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her, she was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. What's going on? Look.
The reason this pattern is so detrimental to Reese's reputation is that during that May matchup, Reese attempted to get physical with Caitlin Clark in an attempt to intimidate her and throw her off her game. You could see Reese becoming more aggressive and making contact whenever possible in an attempt to establish some sort of dominance over Clark. The May embarrassment wasn't an isolated incident. Rather, it was the beginning of what has now become a completely one-sided rivalry. The Fever are 2 games against Chicago this season, and both games have been utter blowouts, and Rhea's been the common denominator in both of these failures.
I thought Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were cool, but I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam. Oh my goodness. Now, the funny thing was Caitlin Clark sniffing, walking away. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good angle. Oh yeah, look. watch Caitlin Clark's face right here. Watch this.
The complete story is revealed by fan reactions. Social media is ablaze with side-by-side comparisons of the 2 games that show how Rhea has continuously performed poorly against Indiana. Comments range from raising doubts about her capacity to perform under pressure to outright making fun of her attempts to compete against Clark in the May 35-point loss followed by this 27-point calamity at the United Center. This indicates a clear pattern. Whenever Reese faces Indiana, her aggressive strategies don't work, her shooting breaks down, and she appears lost on the court. How did Clark put Reese in her place on live television? Let's investigate this.